network. This is the new 7th generation BMW 7 Series unveiled by BMW earlier today. BMW have declared themselves in their press release as the world's most successful manufacturer of premium vehicles, and 45 years after the release of the first generation 7 Series in 1977, the latest 7 Series seeks to challenge not only the mainstream German rivals from Mercedes and Audi, but also all-electric vehicles from European brands and Tesla. Although the 7 Series will be offered with petrol, diesel and hybrid drivetrains, it will launch in Europe with the all-electric i7, with conventionally powered diesel and hybrid petrol variants not becoming available in Europe until 2023. All vehicles will be long wheelbase as standard. In terms of the powertrains, in the i7, 2 electric motors will provide 544 brake horsepower with a range of 388 miles. That's not quite the 396 mile range of the Tesla Model S, and it's significantly short of the 453 mile range of the Mercedes EQS. The 0 to 60 time at 4.7 seconds is not only slower than upcoming V8 7 Series models, but it's also far short of the Model S's 1.99 second 0 to 60 speed. So some pure electric competitors will have better range and faster straight line performance. However, unlike the EQS and Tesla, BMW will be offering a range of drivetrains. So if you're concerned about the range limitations of electric vehicles, you can opt for a conventional diesel or electric 7 Series. Outside of Europe, there'll be a 735i achieving 36 miles per gallon, a 740i managing 40, and a V8 hybrid 760 achieving just 25 miles to the gallon. A 740d aimed at Europe will arrive in spring 2023, which will manage 48 miles to the gallon, and a 750e plug-in hybrid managing 282 miles to the gallon. And top of the range hybrid will be the 760e that can do 0 to 60 in 4.3 seconds and return 256 miles to the gallon. So in terms of the drivetrain, it's interesting that you can choose from electric, diesel or petrol powered models, but it does make the 7 Series a bit of a jack of all trades. If you want the ultimate in speed or range, Tesla still has the upper hand. BMW instead aims to compete with an overall package that combines driving pleasure, long distance comfort and a top-end digital experience. It'll also seek to capitalise on the BMW brand, history and design. So in terms of design, well, design's subjective, but the new 7 Series is likely to divide opinion, much like the 4th generation model designed by Chris Bangle back in the early 2000s. It's not as elegant or athletic as the 6th generation model it replaces, or its conventionally powered rival, the Mercedes S-Class, but it's certainly distinctive, and it makes a Tesla Model S look rather pedestrian, and it has more gravitas than the rather strangely shaped Mercedes EQS. Unconvincing attempt at the rear. In the front, which is perhaps the most noticeable part of the design, is unusual. BMW describe it as having a monolithic surface design, but to me, monolithic isn't really a positive term. It's usually associated with brutalist 1960s architecture or other structures fabricated from a single block of stone. To my eye, the 7 Series looks rather flat-faced. It's not an appearance I'd normally associate with BMW, who are known for flowing lines and curvaceous designs. I'd initially thought that the split headlight unit was designed to divert attention away from the large, oversized kidney grills. But in my view, the kidney grills is now the least potentially offensive part of the front design. Rather, it's the very upright angling that I think will divide opinion. To my eye, the front looks boxy and slightly awkward. It's distinctive, but hardly beautiful. But it'll be interesting to see whether it grows upon us with time. The split headlamps work better, I think, on the X7. Here the eye really is drawn to the upper part, and you don't really notice the lower tier of the headlamps, and of course that very large front grille. There's a sort of combination of a very flat lower part of the front with a sort of curve up towards the bonnet. The seamless shaping between the front and the bonnet is interesting, but still, in my view, the front is overall slightly awkward. Turning to the rear, in my view, the rear is disappointing. It's rather slab-sided and it's rather unremarkable. It looks like cars from the early noughties, particularly certain American models. It reminds me of the Lincoln MKZ. The tail lamps aren't very interesting in my view, and the side profile, BMW have claimed that the 7 Series has greater design coherence than its rivals, but I think there are a number of inconsistent lines and shapes. It's a unhappy blend of monolithic boxiness with a few attempts at curves. I don't think that the shoulder line goes well either with the front end or the side profile. It doesn't look a coherent package to me. However, whilst the outside might divide opinion, the interior is likely to impress, just as the 4th generation did when it came out. And I think that the interior is likely to redefine interiors in the segment. And certainly by comparison, the S-Class looks rather outdated. Even the EQS, with its attempt to redefine luxury interiors for the 21st century, falls short. The combined screens are impressive. There's a screen for the instruments on the left and then the infotainment screen on the right. They're 2 separate screens, but they appear to seamlessly blend into each other. I also really like the crystal decoration on the dashboard. Previously, luxury cars would have wood and leather and maybe aluminium. So really nice to see BMW bring in a new material to redefine the luxury interior for the 21st century. BMW call the crystal decoration on the side a BMW interaction bar, and they say it combines interior lighting, decoration and operating function, as well as almost invisible air vents. I think the big news for viewers will be the colour and the ability to have a light bar that transcends simply being an LED strip, but which refracts the light through really attractive crystal glass-like surfacing, which I think looks really distinctive. The Bowers & Wilkins sound system looks really good, the aluminium speaker covers. And I think that the seating also looks quite interesting. Here you can see BMW have combined cashmere wool with merino leather. They've done this not for environmental reasons, but simply to add an additional material. It will be possible to have a synthetic vegan leather for the first time, but it's clear that the purpose of adding the cashmere was to look for new materials for the luxury experience. Equally interesting are the side controls on each door, which you can see in the video, which allow you not only to change the climate control settings, the seat and the air conditioning, but also to control the infotainment in the rear. A luxury first, but one that I think will catch on, and clearly a major upgrade from the electric window switches that usually adorn doors with simply seat controls on more luxurious cars. BMW also offer heating for the armrests in the door trim and centre console and for the underside of the instrument panel. There are a number of different modes that you can select: expressive, relaxation mode, theatre mode and digital art mode. and that allows you to change the settings not only for the screen but for the digital lights that show on the BMW interaction bar across the front of the dashboard. Turning attention to those screens, the BMW has some very interesting technology in terms of those curved LCD panels right at the front. And once again, I'm just so impressed by the crystal adornment on the dashboard. I think that looks really excellent. But of course, the pièce de résistance for the new 7 Series is the BMW Theatre screen in the rear, which is a 31-inch widescreen display